That almost turned into throat singing. That was awesome. Can we do every episode that way now? From like ever?
Just Mongolian
Yeah.
throat singing.
Don't fuck conversation. I just want to do that from now on. Oh, that sounds cool.
I feel like I just broke through.
So how about this? That's the name of this thing that we do. I'm Alan Dempsey, and this guy is named
Rafiq Shaheen, and with us is the very talented Sofia Sanchez.
You're supposed to confuse them and make them say their own name.
Yeah, but it's
You
cool
totally-
to not have to do that. It feels a little masturbatory.
Yeah, that's kind of our vibe. Is we like to unprepare everybody until they just look at them in silence until they go, "Oh, I'm so and so."
Very
Alan,
deconstructionist.
yeah, Alan is very much a proponent of controlled chaos, apparently.
I don't even know if I want it controlled. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Didn't you watch?
You would not survive the world burning, though.
Of course I wouldn't. I'm barely surviving now. I'm on yet another medication. I don't. Just world burning. Fuck that shit. I'm turning my phone off. That's why I'm distracted. All right.
So, for those at home, Sofia is a comic out of Tampa. You are actually now a headliner, right? Is this your first headlining show coming up? Or?
Yes, it is. I would not necessarily call myself a headliner yet, but maybe after I headline, I will still continue to not call myself that. maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
Comics have this weird... you know, comics always have this weird thing of like either too much ego or not enough ego for like everything.
I feel like even if I did headline at least 3 things, I would still feel really douchey to refer to myself as a headliner.
Yeah, but that's
know
the
what I
reason
mean?
why.
Well, how long you been doing it?
I've been doing it for like 4 years or so.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
At 4 years of your headlining, there's probably a lot of self-doubt there, even though clearly you deserve it.
Paralyzingly. I mean, I don't know. Deserve is subjective, I suppose.
Well,
It's luck.
yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some skill to it, though.
I think there's, yes. Nobody's giving headline positions to someone who's just dog shit.
Well, I'd hope not, but you know, it's cool. I'm excited. I hope I don't fuck it up.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, I'm sure I've told this, but my first official getting paid feature money went so badly that I got comedy fired. I got demoted to host.
Yeah, so I think like when we talk about this stuff, it's like everybody has their own trajectory, not to be cheesy, but like with stand up, there's just still a lot of shit I haven't done. I've never I've never produced a show, and I've probably hosted like 2 open mics and like 2 shows in the past 4 years. I'm a horrible host.
That's actually a really good question.
So like I don't know. Like
I can say
the hosting thing I'm really having trouble with.
I'm really good at hosting because I
can-
don't care so much when I'm hosting that it oozes off of me of like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit? If I fuck it up, who gives a shit? I'm just here to say that guy's name. So
there's a lot of responsibility in it, and I find it very difficult. Personally,
I think
I get really nervous.
right. I think you're absolutely correct. I think the host is one of the most important positions on the show, not because the host himself or herself is important. It's just because like they set the tone for everything that's about to happen.
And you're kind of like representing a lot of people at once.
Right.
And the establishment, and like the people working there, and like
all of that is the exact opposite of my attitude anytime I ever hosted.
Yeah.
My whole attitude was, hey, you guys don't like me, huh? That's cool. Here's someone you will like. And then I'm out. I don't have to worry about it.
It's so interesting because that is kind of a nice sentiment, because even if you don't do good or do well with your own set, if you set the bar low, maybe that's a good thing. I mean, that's definitely what happened to me when I hosted this last thing.
Right.
I still have friends for some reason. So
I like how that's the minimal acceptable line. You're like, oh, cool. Like no one.
I was pretty upset
unfriended
because
me.
like I must have abandoned every bit that I started to do.
Oh,
it was one of those, and I was like, oh fuck, I fucked that up. I was freaking out, and like I was trying to remember all this advice that someone had given me
Oh,
like
don't.
minutes
That's-
before. Yeah, because I wanted to do a good job. Sometimes I try too hard. That's what's fucking shitty. You don't want to see people trying too hard. It's cringy.
Yeah, there's always that thing about like comics who are just confident in what they're saying are always cool, but comics who are like, I need you to laugh at this. You're like, oh, please don't.
You can't. I mean, like, to me, there is a lot of approval seeking in comedy. Like, you're trying to make people laugh, but like you have to pretend that that's not the case.
Right.
And it's almost arrogant, you know? Like, I'm up here.
Yeah, well, it is.
Are gonna like me,
thing.
maybe?
Yeah. It is an arrogant thing to be like, what's good? My own psychosis is so important that I need to share it with the world.
I don't know. I think about that sometimes. Like, what's the point? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well,
That's it.
Like, because I want to think of it.
We just introduced the rest of the episode. That is the depth to that.
I mean, not to like, I don't know if this is dull, but it's like, I would like to think of it as like a service, but that sounds kind of transactional, I guess.
no, I love that. I've always viewed it. So like, to me,
It's a show.
right. And to me, the beauty of comedy is like, if I'm doing my job well, I am hopefully literally making your night better.
Yeah.
Like-
Like you want to make people enjoy themselves.
Wow, that was never my approach.
Yeah, but
My approach was always like,
You want to connect with people, right? Or do you?
but completely self-centered. But
Really?
but self-aware,
Interesting.
self-centered.
Interesting.
I am here for me.
Well, that's beautiful.
This is stuff that I think is interesting and funny.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can get you on my side. Now that
So
doesn't
let me ask you this.
Now that doesn't mean I wouldn't alter something, say it this way to get a laugh rather than
Right,
obviously I did that shit
The
also.
process is fun.
Right. But it was I mean, if I was up there eating a pile of shit, it was like, "Hey, this is what okay. If I was up there eating a pile of shit, it was like, hey, yeah, I don't know why I had to do that. I'm really annoyed at you right now.
You're committing to it.
I had to close the door for no good reason.
The bathroom
and now I'm frustrated.
door was ajar, but now it is not. So
I don't even know what I was talking about.
You were talking.
I am
about
having
how
a therapy
you would
moment.
sit-
I have to rest in my feelings.
It sounds as though.
feelings.
Sounds to me like you were saying that you would really
Yeah.
commit, even if
Oh, yeah. If I was eating a bowl of shit, it was like that even kind of became what was funny about it.
That's
like,
beautiful.
Like, hey guys, we're all in this together. So, and I have
abandoned
to do
shit.
another 5 minutes. So here the fuck we go, And it like, this is what I brought. This is what I have. This is what I do. So we're all going in flames together. Here's the next thing that you're not going to like,
which I've always admired about you. But I will say this, and I say this, with as much love as I can. You have always played it as like too cool for school. It doesn't matter what we're doing together. We could be sitting outside, and someone would come over and be like, "Oh, we're just giving you $100,000," and you would just be like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like, I know I deserve this. And it's like, motherfucker, no, you don't.
I receive your criticism, and I will process it over the next week.
the word curmudgeon comes to mind, but I feel that way often as well.
I don't
Maybe
know
from
that I'm
a different angle.
I don't know.
I don't think you're a curmudgeon.
Well,
I take it back.
You haven't known me that long.
Well,
No, I don't know that
You're
I'm
kind of right, though.
I've been accused of such. I've just gotten to a point in my life where I'm not. It's hard for me to get excited about things.
I am a curmudgeon, I would say.
Like I get excited. Before you got here, I got a picture of the Metroid game that's coming out. That's my background on my phone. He said, "Oh, you're getting excited, right?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck!" Like that's what got me jazzed. Was talking about Metroid.
Well, as long as you
if
can
somebody
find it
came in with
somewhere.
$100,000, for me, there's so much behind that $100,000.
yeah, I mean, money
can't-
comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I can't just get excited because now I'm thinking about, well, all right, so what am I doing with $100,000? How much is going to my mom? How much? There's no wee.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
I was looking at, like when you're talking about like comedy as a service, right? And, that kind of like self-centered thing. To me, the self-centered portion of it always hits me after the show. Because there's that thing of like during the show, I'm like, I'm here to provide a service. I'm here to do a thing for you, you know, to show like, I don't want to say love, but to be like, hey, I'm making people laugh and I'm making people's nights better and I'm doing a thing, you know. And then after the show, when people come up to you and they're like, hey, man, that was fantastic.
And you get to relax. That's the best part of it because you don't have to like think about what you're going to say anymore.
Right. And that's when my ego goes like, fuck yeah. Like,
even if it goes
I'm not,
poorly.
you know what? I was going to try to offer you advice. And then I was like, I'm sitting across from a headliner. So why don't I just shut the fuck up and not offer?
I would love you to hear your advice.
No, I hit
floundering.
At the 4-ish year mark. I definitely hit this moment where I was like, I'm no longer worried about thinking about what I'm going to do.
That's good. I like that.
That doesn't mean I didn't know exactly what I was going to do when I got up there. I mean, I certainly practiced it or whatever, but
yeah, had a plan.
Yeah, but I had this very distinct moment one night where I had my plan and I had been rolling over my plan and then kind of read the room and realized I can't
do something else.
So I went up there basically cold and I was like on the way up, I was like, you know what? I can't just go into my shit. I'm going to have to get these people on my side a little bit. So I spent about 3 minutes just fucking around. Yeah. And then once I kind of got everybody on my side, then I went into some prepared shit.
You don't want to over plan because then you're not organic and you're not interacting or connecting. Sometimes and I think that can be a little robotic.
I think that depends on the person.
I was just about to say, like, I think that, Carlin wrote,
so rehearsed.
Carlin wrote essays and performed them word for word.
Every beat.
Yeah. That ain't me.
But I like Carlin. I like the word stuff. But I think, like, Dave Attell is the type of comedian that I... Like, they're different things almost when you look at them side by side. But they're doing the same shit, sort of.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
those are two guys that I really like, but they're not very similar.
Right. For me, it's... I'm one of those people where I have to practice to the point that it becomes second nature because I go so far practice wise that when I come back around to being on stage, I just feel like I can do whatever because I know where all the beats are supposed to be. I know how to do the high wire act that is comedy. And then at the end of the day, I just find myself ad-libbing because it's like, oh, cool. Like, I'm going to say this and then who cares? I can just say whatever because
you find like a flow state almost.
Right. Because I go like, I have like 10 seconds between the end of this bit and the start of the next bit. So I can just talk about this dude's shirt, who gives shit.
I think like for me, if I just don't get super drunk, it usually goes pretty well.
Oh, we've all been there.
I like that's another issue. But like, I've been really not drinking as much before. And it's made a big difference. But you've seen me just flounder because I'm like forgetting shit because I'm hammered.
Yeah. So
that's so sad when you see it happen to someone else too. They're like cadence is all fucked up.
Right. So my favorite line of thought along that actually comes from Josh Wolf because I remember seeing him do a show and like some dude in the audience kept on sending him drinks and he took like the first one. And then, like, afterwards, the guy, like, tried to send up, like, 2 or 3 more. And his response was, like, I work for an hour a night. If I can't be sober for an hour at work, like, what's wrong with me?
Dude, that hits.
Right? And and that was the thing, too, because I used to drink a lot before I would get up on stage because I was like, oh, this will help me be more me.
It makes me be so much worse.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just drink anyways. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. Well, I was listening to, not to go off on a tangent, but like I was listening to this thing where this guy, he was like an alcohol historian, and he was saying that like historically people, it hinders your inhibitions. And that's like what adults are seeking because it brings them back to like childhood. But like maybe we are supposed to have inhibitions.
Right.
Like maybe those are underrated.
So I actually spoke to...
I don't know. That was
you make a great point. I spoke to a comic about this the other day where he was talking about like part of the key thing of comedy is like when you get really good at comedy, you get to kind of revert back to that state of childhood of like, oh, I don't have to worry about what people think about me or, you know, what I'm going to say, or, you know, I can just be, playful, whimsical, whatever.
I heard this quote and I didn't understand it until I had been doing comedy for a while. It was, the more you do stand up, you are more comfortable on stage and less comfortable in the real world.
That's hilarious.
And when I first heard that, I hadn't really done comedy yet. And then when I started doing comedy a lot, that's when I was like, oh, I get it now. Because all of those social contracts don't exist on stage.
But I love like making people, I try to like make people laugh in the real world all the time. And it's so nice when it hits. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, just, First Friday. It's very annoying, but it's like in St. Pete, the first Friday every month. Like the roads get blocked out and there's just drunk people everywhere. I was just like walking in the street and just like heckling people and trying to make them laugh, like guerrilla comedy. And it was like really fun. I told like a bunch of real tough looking dudes who were just like all wearing different forms of neon apparel. They were all just like hard stancing, like with power stances, kind of, with their hands like this, like just looking real tough, but like neon.
The hardest motherfuckers in St. Pete.
I told them they looked like crossing guards, and they were like, "You're stupid." And then I said that they looked like these guys at the airport, like the guys who wave the cones around.
Like they're just doing like traffic wands, like blowing whistles in the street.
Like the guy, and they thought that was pretty funny. I think that was actually Boys to Men. I don't know.
They came down to St. Pete for First Friday.
They haven't aged a day. I'm telling you. They looked cool though. I don't know what they were doing, but I think they were in some kind of. They were in cahoots.
Yeah, there's a certain thing about
you're all matching.
Yeah, I don't get that. They're like, as guys, if you're hanging out with your guy friends and you're like, oh, we all got to wear like similar shit. I go like, why? Like what?
It's like, then we'll go get the tiki torches.
Aren't we impressive ladies? Shouldn't you fuck all of us
at the same time?
Oh, dude, So what you just said reminded me, like, I've been thinking about this forever and a day now, but like I was watching a nature documentary about like peacocks and doing that whole like
the dance.
Right?
Was it the guy with the one? Never mind. Keep going. That is
I wish to God you had not
David
stopped.
Attenborough.
No, okay, I was going to say,
one?
yeah.
I got the whole time Ray Bradbury and David Attenborough.
I was just hoping that you wouldn't stop. I just wanted to watch you do that for the next 4 minutes.
I've been doing that a lot today. Tip of the tongue phenomena. Please continue.
But like they were talking about doing the like how they like do the dance and shake their feathers and everything to like attract mates, and I was like, how great would it, like there's that whole douchey thing and like pickup artist nonsense of like, oh, peacocking is a thing. But I go, how great would it be if peacocking was an actual peacock thing? Like if you were just sitting at a bar, right, and you're like, oh man, that girl at the end's hot, and Alan's like, I'm gonna go talk to her. He just whoop, and like a whole group of feathers pop out.
It's called river dancing.
That is my heritage, and that's how I approach the ladies. I clog my way over.
Yeah, river dancing is good. It looks like you're just trying to get dirt off your hands.
And I look at him. I give him this look like, "What's up?" While I'm clickety clack, 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 clack.
It's very masculine. Yeah. It's very sexual.
It's
not a bar stool left unsoaked.
Yeah, look at that. Ew. It's like Alex Mack. Remember that?
Oh, wow.
Very cummy when you think about it.
I like the expression very cummy.
Like ectoplasm. It's like shines like mercury.
Have you met my friend Alan? He's very cummy.
It's a quality to be desired, I'd say.
It's a quality to be desired. That would be a great like passage for like a book review. Like
yes.
Just Alan's memoir, very
cummy.
I think cummy sounds more like what a sommelier would say. Like if they're tasting like the wine, they're like, "Oh, this one, it's got an essence of cum. Yeah,
it's cum-like. Cummy notes."
Because they do have some wacky wacky terms and adjectives for the wine. Did you guys ever see those degenerate rich alcoholics?
Do you mean my childhood?
Oh.
They'll swish it around and they'll be like, oh, this one.
Oh, yeah, no, dude.
Tennis balls.
So, So, like, it's, again, very weird because, like, in my childhood, I actually had to
Always bring
go...
it back to the booze.
Well, I had to go through, like, a bunch of, like, training as a kid because, like, my mom used to be married to, like, the ambassador of Liberia before she met my dad.
That's right.
And there was, like, a whole
Jesus
thing of,
Christ, Rafiq. I've known you for about 10 years, and I've never heard that your mom was married to the fucking ambassador. This guy's life is more
I forget
fascinating.
that you are an interesting
This guy
person.
is the most and he doesn't.
Forget that I'm an interesting
No,
person.
what's
You
hilarious?
don't, like, talk about yourself that much.
That's the hilarious part, is that he has no concept of how bizarre his life is. He's just like, yeah, my aunt, the president of Liberia. Anyway, I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah, I
Your
feel like
aunt-
we chat about things and then, like, I don't know. It's not very identity centered.
Yeah,
and that's
I
probably
guess.
for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, I guess, and I've told Alan this before, but, like, that stuff is not super important to me because, it is one of those, like, well, it's just childhood. You know?
Right,
Like,
right,
you just,
yeah.
like, when you're a kid, every kid's had to take, like, a class in something that they didn't give a shit about because, like,
Yeah, usually it's just 4-H though.
When I was about 5,
Communion.
I told my mom that I wanted to be in commercials because I'm 5 and it
Right.
looks cool to be a kid in commercials. So I had no idea what was going on. She signed me up for modeling classes. God bless her. God bless
Right.
her for doing it. But the entire time I was in these modeling classes, I had no idea what I was doing there because I was like,
just very
why am I
confused.
not in commercials? I thought that I was going to be in commercials, and you're showing me how to, like, literally there was a whole class on how to, like, properly eat soup. And I'm thinking, okay, I guess this is the proper. What I don't connect is if you're on camera and you're pretending to eat soup, eat it this way. I just think, I don't know, I got a guy here teaching me how to eat soup.
Yeah, you thought
I
you
don't
were
know why
going
I'm
like-
not in commercials right now.
You thought you were going to like a camp where
I didn't
at
know what I
camp
was
you're gonna
doing.
be on TV. You wanted to go into the TV.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
you really just wanted to play with Nerf guns. You didn't know how to express it.
I love Nerf guns. I shot like a Nerf gun 2 days ago for the first time in like 10 years. I remembered how fun
They're
those things
they're
were.
so much fun. It's super weird that like it's weird as an adult that like you age out of certain things because people are like, oh, that's no longer age appropriate, but you're like, this is still fun.
Shooting things is
Dude,
pretty fun. Like
you wanna-
pellet guns. Do you guys ever fuck with those when you were kids? Like shooting cans with pellet guns?
Yeah.
That is so fun and satisfying.
Anytime I'm talking 30 plus adult that I've been to a party that had a slip and slide, I was like, fuck yes. Slip and slides are the shit. I
how do
don't
you feel
care
about
how
water
old
parks?
you are.
Have you guys? So I don't know if they've been
park.
back since, but did you guys ever do Slide the City?
Didn't you and I do it one time? Or
I-
did you do it?
I know I
didn't
did.
do it. I
Okay.
was like in a bad place emotionally and I couldn't do it.
What is
but you
that?
were like, all right, I'll go do it.
So like it's super fun. Basically, what they did is they took one of those like curved bridges in Tampa, and they turned it into a giant water slide.
Holy shit.
So like you
That's some torn ACLs.
Oh yeah, no, dude. Like I had to buy a new phone because I forgot that like my phone was in my bag when I was sliding, and I was like sliding on my stomach, and then like I fucked up a little bit and like rolled onto my back and then
going really
rolled over.
fast?
Oh yeah, because you're going down the fucking bridge. So
Which
like
bridge?
it's like in Tampa. It's like right near downtown Tampa, near like Waterworks. But like, so like right around. I couldn't tell you the specific street name anymore, but it's like right near where like the Straz is and everything.
Okay.
But it was so much fun. And it was just one of those things of like for $25 you get to go on this gigantic water slide, and it's like, or gigantic slip and slide, and it's like, yes, why would you not?
Do you
Like-
this reminds me of this thing that there was a Netflix show. One episode was about this. It was a race in like Ireland down or somewhere in England down in this really steep hill. A bunch of white people just race down this hill after a wheel of cheese.
Oh,
Do you know
yeah.
what I'm talking about? And they have like different.
Does the winner get to
approaches.
eat the cheese? What's the deal with the cheese?
Keep it.
So,
I think.
like, apparently,
what is that?
Yeah. So I
That's
forget.
white people shit. Is what
It
that
is.
Hilarious
It is white
because
people
they
shit.
like this one chick is like everyone was bum shuffling, but what I do is I do shoulder roll, and she like dislocates her shoulder, but she wins. She's like doing like judo rolls.
Right.
She's like,
over her shoulder.
I can't use my shoulder forever now, but it was worth it.
So, like, that's one of those traditions that I know what you're
It's
talking
like
about.
hundreds of years old.
And it's like one dude lost his wheel of cheese one day. Everyone chased after it, and they've been doing it for 100 years.
I don't know if they
since.
replaced the wheel of cheese
Yeah.
or not. They probably do, right?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would assume after 100
You'd probably
years,
eat it
like you would
then.
just.
I guess.
Sure.
I don't really know. I mean, there's
It
kind
just
of
sounds. It sounds like it's really not about the cheese. That's really
Yeah.
what I'm getting out of this.
So I love
That's beautiful.
I love festivals like that. Like there's in I think it's Estonia. There's like the bride race where like it's like all like if you
Is that
want
what they call it?
yeah, it's like if you want to get married, like there's like a festival they do where it's like all the women put on bride's dresses, all the men in tuxes, and like in order
And
for
you tackle the woman you tackle is your bride,
Only one gets raped. Sorry.
the winner.
no, so like it's the other way around. So it's like the grooms.
The women do the raping.
Yeah, well, I
That's
guess
sick.
yes. It's a very female centered
Very
holiday.
progressive. Sorry, go
You
on.
know, so like the men take off down the hill and then the women chase after, and it's like if you catch your groom, then it's official, right? Like,
Oh
it's,
shit!
you know, it's like it's legal now. Yeah.
Interesting.
You
So
know,
wait a minute. That means that the most athletic woman caught the worst running guy. That's not a good match.
No, I think at this point in time, it's more of like this is me and my girlfriend Alex. You know, I'm going to take off running, and she's gonna if she catches me. You know,
Yeah.
it's a fun thing. It's the same way as like German Father's Day is so much cooler than American Father's Day.
Go on.
So like in German's Father's Day, like it's you build a beer cart with your dad, and then you ride into the woods and drink beer and like grill and shit like
That
that.
sounds awesome.
Right?
That's fascinating.
Right? American's Father's Day is like, oh, you
Yeah,
gave
they
your dad
go
a
to the-
tie.
Or like he goes to get cigarettes and never comes back.
Oh,
It's his gift to himself.
Right, oh yeah, okay, Billy, this great Father's Day gift. I'm just gonna go get my own and just see it in 40
gonna go
years.
see my mistress. My headphones keep popping out. It's bugging me. Stuff and things.
How do your ears feel?
Fine.
I'm getting cauliflower ear. It's ever so slight.
Have you been getting in a lot lot of fist fights?
No,
It's from judo, right?
it's from jujitsu, but
So
I-
yes, you've been getting in a lot of fist
there's no
fights.
fists. No fisting.
So how?
I started doing stand up and jujitsu the same week. Isn't that fun?
Really? So it's about 4 years for
Yeah.
you. Nice.
It's cool because like I think both of those things have measurable progress, quantifiable in some
Right.
ways. So it's been fun to like have.
I totally get that.
Parallel
I
things.
used to do judo in college.
Yeah.
And like
You were in college when you did judo?
Yeah.
Did you start when you were a kid, like a young boy?
No, I started in college.
That's
it was
wild.
It was one of those things of like there was, you know, like I've been a fat fuck my entire life, and you know, it was like, well, you know, if you're gonna be a fat fuck, you might as well be a strong fat.
You're not
fuck.
a fat fuck, but
You know.
did you
Oh,
find
thank
that
you.
it was really hard on your body?
No.
All the like drops and throws and
I mean, like it was.
I find judo really fucking hard.
Yeah.
I'm not stuck. I've done like 3 judo classes and my
Yeah.
spine always hurts.
That sounds good. You
It's
should probably keep doing that.
It's crazy.
it's like it's difficult, but like it's
Impact, a lot of impact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that's part of the thing you
If there's-
learn against.
If
you
there's
know,
one
it's
thing
like
I
how to
know
fall
about the
properly.
human frame, it should sustain a lot of impact.
I mean,
Especially to the head.
ideally, you're supposed to like slap out and like fall really gracefully, and you get good at that. But like learning how to fall is like it's easier for kids because they're just like,
Right.
you know.
I got a friend who just started in the last few years. He's my age, so he's 42. And he just, maybe 3-4 years ago, he started one of those, a judo or...
Which one?
I don't know. Whichever
Probably
one everyone's
jiu-jitsu.
doing now.
Jiu-jitsu,
Probably that one.
Does he wear the gi?
Sure.
Have you seen? Okay.
Well, here's why
Please continue.
I'm saying it. He's a big motherfucker. He's just a large fella.
Yeah.
And there's footage of him like winning matches, but God bless him. I can't do it. I'm not talking shit. I don't see a guy who's doing a lot of crazy technical stuff. What I see is a guy who just at the second they say go, the second they say go, he just manhandles the fuck out of the other guy and just basically like just throws him. And it's like, yeah, you won.
I mean, it's an approach. We have there's a guy at my gym who is a former NFL player, and watching him compete, I was like, oh man, that poor guy. Because because you know how football players, they're good at just mauling people. So he just mauled this guy, got the points for the takedown.
So that was
took his back. Yeah. Like, it's fucking football players. I'm jealous.
That was my problem in college, is because, like, again, always been a fat fuck. But, like, in college, it's like, who are you going to compete against? Well, people in your weight class. And it's like, well, what's my weight class at like 22? And it's like 250. And it's like, well, who are the only people who are going to weigh 250 around college? Oh, these are masters who have been doing this for 40 years and weigh 300 pounds. So he's the closest guy to your weight size. So fucking,
Don't die.
What's your favorite throw?
So Ponsanagi was always my go-to, just because, again, like, when you're talking about manhandling somebody, it's like, okay, cool. This is something like slightly technical and something that I can do. But
Sayanagi's like over the shoulder.
Yeah.
And what's Ippon?
It's at 1 point.
Okay. So because they do the drop Sayanagi and the standing Sayanagi. Right. And do you do the standing one?
Yeah. So like the whole point was
that shit's cool as fuck. I can't do it.
Well, so that's the thing. Again, like at my size, when I was practicing against other people in like our school, it was like, oh, cool. We're all like, I'm one of the biggest dudes here outside of like Kevin, and I think the other guy's name was Steven or whatever. It's like, we're the three biggest dudes here. So like outside of these two, when we're running through drills with everyone in class, I can just like pick you up and put you over here. And that's not a problem.
Very tiring for a small person.
Right. But then you get to like competition, and it's like, you're the only person in your age group, and the next closest guy is like 43,
old man strength,
right? And he's 43. He weighs like 350. He does this professionally. He's a black belt. You're a yellow belt. Fucking fight. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm gonna walk away with a bronze just because I'm one of three people here. So I'm kind of proud I survived. Thank you for my medal of shame.
This is my I didn't die medal. Yeah. Look, Ma, I lived.
You can use it as a sling.
Yeah. The thing that actually had me stop, and I've kind of always regretted it looking back, is like we were doing drills one day, and I landed and I got my foot caught in the mat, like in the little joint in between the two.
Did you fuck your knee up?
So when I was trying to roll back up to be like, yeah, I got this, and like my foot got caught, and I tore all the ligaments from like my toe up to my knee.
Oh shit!
Because like I was trying to like jump up, so basically it's like, and it was like one of those
serious ankle roll.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where like you can hear the snap sound, and you're like, oh, this is not okay. Like this is
awful. Yeah, I had a pretty bad ankle injury. My ankle looked like it was massive. Like I had a cankle, and I still had to keep bar backing. That thing was huge. It just speaks to the resilience of the human condition, though, because when you get hurt like that, you think you're going to be hurt forever.
And like
or when you're bombing,
right? Yeah,
it's like something about suffering. You forget that you're going to be fine eventually.
Yeah, well, so it's funny that you say that. I was listening to something off of NPR's Hidden Brain recently, and they were talking about how humans have difficulty recognizing, like, there's the present version of you, but there's also the future version of you.
Right.
So, like, when you have an issue, like a physical malady or, like, you get hurt or whatever, you go, like, oh, right now the world is ending.
Yeah.
But you're not thinking of, like, in 5 minutes, Rafiq will still be alive. And 5 minutes from now, Rafiq will be looking back on this going, like, well, that sucked. Like,
what do you think is worse? this is kind of a weird question, but like extreme pain or extreme discomfort?
Define discomfort.
Like nausea and like shitting your pants, like being like a really bad like stomach virus, or like being like maimed or something, or like having like severe chronic pain maybe.
As a guy who suffers from a lot of chronic shit, I will say that I would rather have the immediate broken arm pain.
Yeah, I think pain comes with like all kinds of endogenous chemical release, but I feel like discomfort, the slow burn, is what makes people kill themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you,
it's perverse.
I have well, it's not weird and perverse. I'm telling you, as a guy with experience.
Yeah. Because that's what steals your just.
Yes, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm on another therapy to try to get my head from being foggy all the fucking time, and
I'm sorry.
like, yeah, it's not okay. Like there comes a point where you wake up and you go, Jesus Christ, I'm sick again. I'm always sick.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm tired of being sick. And you start to go like, I can't fucking live like this anymore. You know, I'd much rather be
Check
like
out early.
Well, no, I'm saying in terms of her thing, I'd much rather like, ow, my arm hurts because it broke.
Yeah.
And I'm going through the therapy
Or like
and
burns
I'm
and
focusing on mending my arm. And now my arm is better. That was a weird experience. I'll take that any day over the stuff.
Or like if you get your arm chopped off or bit off, chopped.
Yeah.
If you got your arm bit off by a shark, you like get overcome with like endorphins and adrenaline that you don't even feel it, supposedly. Mm-hmm. That's fucking sick.
So my fear along those lines has never been like the death, right? Is like you go skydiving or bungee jumping or whatever, and it's like, oh, the cord snapped, the chute didn't open, and I go like, all right, you're dead. I go, that's not the terrifying thing. The terrifying thing is you hit the bottom and somehow you're still alive.
Oh, yeah.
But broken. And not like broken in the sense of like, oh, I have a disability that I now have to learn how to live with. I mean like broken of like, oh, cool. When I breathe, one of the shards jabs into my lungs, you know, and this is how it's going to be for the rest of my days.
That's chronic discomfort.
Right.
You know, because eventually you do come accustomed. It won't hurt as bad a month from now, but it hurts every time you breathe. And at some point you go, Jesus Christ, every time. Like when I do the normal function of breathing, ouch.
Right.
I don't want to live like this anymore. You know, I either need a surgery or I need a bullet in the head.
Well, I hope that you find something that helps.
Yeah, they
I'm
just put
sorry
me on
to
a.
hear that.
Yeah, I'm on a sinus steroid now. I have to squirt a steroid into my fucking head. It takes about 30 minutes because you have to do both sides.
Which is the steroid?
I don't remember the name of it. It starts with a D.
Okay.
But basically, I have rhinitis, which is like you get swollen sinuses. Mm-hmm. I have both allergic and non-allergic rhinitis.
Interesting.
So I just live in a head cold. My normal state is snotting and a head cold. So now we're like, okay, we're going to start squirting stuff into your skull to try to fix this.
Damn.
That's... Oh, I'm glad it's you, not me.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say also about that.
I got shot in the butt with prednisone a couple years ago because I just had an insane hive episode for no reason.
Oof.
I got to show you a picture of that later. Do you remember that? I definitely posted pictures
So
of it.
Yeah.
It was wild,
My
though.
brain
I looked
went
like a leopard.
My brain went, a picture of her butt? What just happened?
No, not a picture of my butt.
Okay.
But my butt also had hives on it.
Oh.
Like my entire body. Like for some reason it didn't really get to my airways. But yeah, they shot me
Did
in
they
the
even
butt.
know what it like? Were
No.
so you don't know if it was allergic or?
I mean, people get hives from cortisol, like from just stress.
Yeah.
But like there was nothing that I put. It wasn't. I had. It's just weird. I mean, people get freak hives sometimes. Hives.
Like that kind of
But
what...
they were really, really fucking bad. And they kept getting worse. And they were all over my face. I was unrecognizable.
Kind of what you were saying before of like how amazing the human body is. The human body is so fantastical because like you can have a moment of like chronic pain where your body goes like, we're just going to release, you know, some drugs into your system and you're going to fucking not focus on this and get over it and it'll be fine. But the body will also 30
freak it
seconds
the fuck
later
out,
go like, oh, is that grass we smell? Time to close your airways.
That's fun.
Yep.
It's like,
God.
it's like I'm not sure which one we're supposed to be doing right now. Can we do both?
I feel like we forget that we're alive. That like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like our bodies are.
well, it's like
freaks me out.
Your body is like on. There's that weird thing of like, there's the conscious self of like, this is Rafiq. This is what he thinks about things.
And then the house you live in.
Right. that the house
Little house on the prairie.
Yeah. The house you live in is all automated. So it's just making shit up as it goes along.
It makes you kind of feel bad for it sometimes. I'm like, oops. I don't know. I ate pizza, like half a pizza at 7:30 this morning. Out of ranch, though. Out of ranch. But
Wait,
yeah, I
out
probably
of-
could have treated my body. No,
I'm sorry. I need you to clarify that.
we
Did
didn't
you say
have ranch, so that was disappointing. I put like
on your pizza?
On your pizza?
Oh yeah, I like to do a little dip.
That's not right. That's not.
I like sauce. I don't know. It doesn't have to be.
That's
ranch.
not sauce. Don't do that.
Sometimes I'll get
treat yourself
extra,
better than that.
extra marinara too.
Now, there you go.
Wait,
That's-
that's
Yeah,
something.
you guys don't like ranch? Do you eat wings?
Oh, I eat wings and like
Do you do any like?
I look. I'm gonna be honest. I go if I'm not blue cheese or like maybe like barbecue or honey mustard,
Yum.
like whatever the fuck else. Unless if you're doing hot wings, that's one thing, right? I
I
split
really
my
like ranch. I don't know. I think it's good,
I mean, like you,
especially when it's like the really jiggly, like thick, like almost looks like.
Now it sounds like you're trying to make me sick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that you have gut issues.
So
He has medical problems.
I have-
That's my favorite part in
talk
The Big
about-
Lebowski.
we can also talk about my gut issues if you really want to go down that road.
Maybe you should try fecal transplants. I'll give you one.
Fecal transplant? Like somebody
Have you heard
puts
about
their
that?
own
I
shit
don't really
in
know.
me?
They don't really
Yeah,
do it
you
like
haven't heard
that.
that?
So basically, like it's for people who have like chronic gut, people with gastro
Okay.
shit going on.
yeah. So
It's actually really good to repopulate gut flora in people who.
Oh,
got,
if
like,
that's the
depleted.
issue.
Yeah.
That ain't my issue.
Because they got bad flora, so they gotta give them some of that good flora.
So we're at about 40-ish
Sorry,
minutes
I was
here.
like really gross.
That's okay. This is
about
a
shit
this is
a
a
lot.
comedy
I-
podcast, and that's what we do.
yeah.
Do you think I have vocal fry?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, please continue.
Thank you for allowing me to continue.
Sorry.
So I'm going to pass this across to you, and just your initial gut reactions, emotional, intellectual. Just
I'm ready for it.
Take this.
Just share it with the audience.
Just tell us.
Okay. Well, what we're looking at here is a compact disc.
Can you describe the
Entitled-
casing itself?
Well, it's quite thin. I will say that.
It's almost as if it were made in somebody's home.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. That is a lot of tracks. It has 100 tracks on it.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Supposedly.
94 is Dick Hunter.
Dick
That's what
Hunter.
that one's about.
By the way, that's not what that one's about.
Oh, actually, it says Duck Hunter. Jesus Christ. I got to get my eyes checked. Anyways.
what do you-
Ed the Machine Regine tells ... That is an odd number of ellipses. 100 of the funniest jokes he's ever heard. 4 exclamation points. Again, odd number. It's an even number, but I think this guy may have been a substitute teacher of mine. Or something.
That's a good call. That's a good call. We haven't heard that one yet.
Is this a comedy thing? He looks like a magician.
This
He looks
guy
like
he's basically a cruise ship comic. We've watched his act. It's actually not bad.
I'm sure he's good.
He
looks good.
He it ain't for us. No one in this room would laugh at his material.
I probably would laugh at it.
But he kills on cruise ships. He does very well. He's got a handful
He's
of
got his niche.
kills on
He's
cruise
got a
ships.
handful of film appearances and stuff. He was actually on Tarantino's last movie as the waiter. So anyway, this was bought. I don't know if you'd noticed. It was
signed it.
It is signed for me. Somebody bought me this as a sincere present. It probably won't surprise you to know that most of these tracks do not line up with the actual joke.
Okay.
So we've gone through. We have gone through 46 of them. So we're almost halfway.
Okay. Cool.
At least one of them, maybe two, at least one of them just cut out halfway through. He was like, so there's this guy. And then it was just next track.
What year did he make this?
Oh, that's a great question. This was bought for me, and I want to say...
Who bought it for you?
My sister-in-law.
Oh, that's
Isn't
dope.
that sweet? But then I've made fun of it ever since.
Does he know you?
Who?
This man? Do you know each other?
No, she was on a cruise.
No, I understand that much, but like I don't know. I thought there might be some like romantic ending to this.
No,
no. Cradle each other's balls while staring.
We would love for
into the
Ed to
moonlight.
cradle our balls.
Yeah.
That would be.
I
That'd
want
be
to punch fucking Ed's balls.
that
My
would
goal with this podcast, honestly, is to have him on to just confront him about this, and then I don't need to record another episode. This has become my sole purpose for meeting.
He looks like he's got so many.
He looks like he's got about 4 ethnicities going on. First of all,
Yeah, he looks like a guy from the past.
yeah.
He looks like a wise guy. Like he looks like he's gonna go like, hey. We don't talk about family business outside.
Well, we saw him.
He looks like he owns a cheesecake factory.
Yes, fucking yes. That's exactly what he looks like.
But he fucks. Like that guy fucks.
He's probably balls deep in something right now.
A cassava melon. I can't. Okay, so
This is track 47. It is allegedly, let me find 47. It's allegedly about Southern Belles. There's a 75% chance it will not be about Southern Belles.
oh yeah.
Here we go.
2 Southern belles are sitting at a lawn party, and one says to the other, do you see that Rolls Royce out there? My husband got me that. And the other belle said, well, that's nice. And the first belle says, see this 10-carat diamond I'm wearing? My husband got me that. And the other belle said, well, that's nice. And the first belle says again, you see that string of polo ponies back there? My husband got me that. And the other belle said, well, that's nice. And the first belle said, well, I'm talking so much about me, what about you? Well, I finished finishing school. And what we learned there was when we say that's
Tripped
nice,
over it.
we really mean who gives a fuck?
Was that the joke?
That
was the joke. Jesus fucking Christ. That one pissed me off. It's been a while since Ed pissed me off like this. I'm mad now. That wasn't even
so circuitous.
That was not
right?
even a fucking punchline.
Right.
I'm like,
Jesus Christ. At least the other ones had like a punch. They weren't good, but they had a fucking punchline.
I want to go on this cruise.
Oh my God.
I finished finishing school. I thought he was
By
going
the way,
to talk about.
by the way, did you hear him trip about 3/4 of the way into it? He's
I feel
tripped over
kind of
his
bad.
word.
We're just shitting on this guy, but
Yes.
he also like makes a lot more money than me and is probably very
'Cause that's the standard.
successful. Yeah, true.
Part of the reason why we plail edit is we want people to have somebody to aspire to, somebody to just
isn't really-
reach the heights of comedy.
This is our
Also-
motivational.
I feel like I should say something that I didn't point out, but the name of it is he tells 100 jokes that he's ever heard.
Yep.
So that would imply that these are not his own jokes.
They are not.
Not
his
only
own
are
jokes.
these not his jokes,
That is so weird.
but occasionally when we play one, I go, oh God, I used to tell this joke to my friends when I was in 4th grade. Like legit, these are jokes that I had heard and thought was funny in the 4th grade. So, yeah, we're shitting on this guy. And what I need you to do right now is just lean into it.
Okay.
I need you to help
Yes, sir.
me shit on this guy.
Okay. He looks like the guy at a Ponderosa Steakhouse who comes out with a sack full of toys and asks the kid, like, hey, I got this sack full of toys for you here. And then the kid, like, looks into
I didn't
it.
know that you were going to immediately go after him on such a brutal level. That
Sorry.
really made me happy.
I like Ponderosa. I'm just kidding.
Is that even still a place?
Probably not, but neither is that guy.
Ponderosa was my shit when I was a kid.
What did you get?
We would get, I can't remember, we would put pizza sauce on something that's not supposed to have pizza sauce on it. And me and my brother thought it was the most delectable.
Yeah.
Like, this is the height of food.
You guys are describing a completely alien world to me.
Yeah, do you ever go to like Sweet Tomatoes? That's kind of like a Ponderosa Steakhouse. Right?
Wasn't
I think it's
Ponderosa, wasn't it a buffet?
Yeah. Love a buffet.
Okay, so like it's a buffet style.
Yeah, I think it was
Place.
dog shit. Like I'm pretty sure it
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah.
good. But
Looking
Sweet
back-
Tomatoes, that place was pretty good.
Looking
It
back,
was.
Sweet Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that place slapped.
Ponderosa, I think, God, I mean, I'm talking, when I say child, I mean child. We lived right by one, and at least 2-3 times a month after church, my mom would take us, and it was like, all she had to do was say Ponderosa, and me and Phil were just like, oh, and we would get this pizza something. It wasn't a hot dog. It was like a pizza meatloaf or something. I don't know what the fuck it was.
That sounds good.
But we thought it was the best food on earth. Because I think, like, we never even went to, because you could order something or you could go to the buffet.
Right.
And it was like, me and my brother were like, oh, we'll have the pizza, whatever, thank you.
the chef's special. Wearing suits for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess it did come from church.
Good, sir. And we would turn British.
Daddy. Okay, so this guy is playing me another one, would you?
Yeah, let's do that. This is track 48. Oh, I closed it too prematurely, and now I can't open it.
It is a very fragile CD case, as it were.
I actually had to buy a bunch of new ones because they broke, but it came in a case like this. So I actually sought out this kind of case because it wouldn't work
Oh, I got
for
one.
me to pass this over in a real CD case.
That guy looks like he wears a short sleeve button up collared shirt and then tucks it into shorts, like with the belt.
yeah,
you know what I'm
boat
saying?
shoes.
I feel like that's a real bold move. Tucking the shirt in while wearing shorts. Like, it's got kind of like a safari.
Yeah,
like,
I'm professional upstairs, but downstairs I'm all party.
like there's a lot of mobility. You can kick your knees.
It's kind of a full. It's almost like a reverse full body mullet, right? It's party down below, business on top.
Because like you notice when you ever see like a really old man wearing pants bend to pick something up, like bend down, he pulls at his pants so they come over his knees. This guy doesn't have to do that because he's wearing shorts.
Because it's all party downstairs.
Yeah.
Well, easy access to that big hog. All right,
massive.
this one is allegedly about Inkblots. Inkblots.
This guy goes to a psychiatrist to get of an ink blot test.
Hey!
And the first picture the doctor shows him, the doctor says, "What does that look like to you?" And the guy said, "Well, it looks like a woman giving a cowboy a blowjob."
Oh
And the
God.
doctor goes,
hot.
So he says, "What about this one?" And the guy looks at it and says, "Well, it looks like a man having sex with a camel." And the doctor goes, "And how about this one?" And the guy said, "Well, this looks like a mad woman and an elephant and a robot having group sex." The doctor says, "Well, it's obvious you are a sexual deviant." And the guy says, "I'm a sexual deviant. You're the one
showing me
the
dirty pictures.
Oh wow!
I knew
like
that one.
I like that he calls it an Inkblot test instead of a Rorschach test, right?
Right,
That's what the
yeah.
same thing, but that's a real mouthful.
Yes. Well, I'm sure the people who are clamoring for Ed are not the kind of people who need highfalutin words like Rorschach.
Yeah, how do you say that? Rorschach.
Rorschach. I don't care.
Very,
I was going to keep trying,
I was
and then I
gonna
gave
say.
up.
I mean, I was gonna do probably a racist accent. Go very Yiddish with it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Well, this episode has been tragically devoid of racism, and I need you to fix that right now.
This isn't racist, but Yiddish does have some very funny spelling of things. Like the word yarmulke. So
Yeah.
it's yarmulke, but you spell it like yarmulke.
Yeah.
Yarmakle, yarmulke.
So like I have
Very interesting to me.
right. So I have family that's like Jew. Like my family covers all the big three. You know, like Christian, Jews, and like.
Sounds
Muslim.
like media conglomerates.
I mean, it kind of is at this point.
Oh,
Very
the big
good
three
point.
religions.
Yes.
I thought you were saying the big three ethnicities, and I was like, I wonder what those are.
Personality types.
So, but like I have family that's like Jewish, and one of the weird things though is like when you are reading like Jewish words or like Yiddish words, like you will see like the word Hanukkah, for example. You'll walk past the word Hanukkah and it's spelt like 5 different fucking
I
ways.
feel like I may have misspoke too because I don't know if the word yarmulke is Hebrew or if it's Yiddish. Do you know that? It's probably Hebrew, right? Because it's the religious
I'm not
thing.
sure actually. I think yarmulke is.
But I like
Hebrew.
Yiddish. Like that's like my mom saying. My mom says Yiddish shit, even though she's not.
Yeah.
She just says like "oy vey."
Right. Yeah. No, my mom does
She
that
says
too.
kvetching.
Yeah.
Quit kvetching, which is hilarious. I'm like, I don't know like who you're embodying right now,
Right.
but keep it coming because
what
it's
spirit?
I definitely wanted to convert to Italian after The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I really needed to be Italian after that show came out.
I'm pretty sure you can get that worked out somehow.
You know what's actually
Talk to Rachel Dolezal.
You know what's actually kind of weird now that you guys say that is it reminds me of the fact of like my mom, you know, like from being from Africa, like she will drop African words, but she also will kind of like your mom drop like Yiddish words. So like we'll call each other like mushbuka, right? Which just means like loved one. Right.
Mushbuka.
Right. But like my mom will also say like sabafal that yama yama or like sabafal that palava.
You know what's crazy? Have you ever watched, I mean, I'm sure you have, but if you watch a modern movie, YouTube video in another language, how every now and then there'll be an English phrase.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the way we say joie de vivre. You know, it'll be like a German movie, and then in the middle of this sentence, they'll say good job. And it's
Yeah,
Right,
like they
yeah.
say good job the same
very
way we
interesting.
say, you know, c'est la vie or something, you know?
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was getting at though, is like culturally it's very like weird, but also kind of like reaffirming of like, oh, we're all part of this one big human community where it's like, oh, my lovely mother from Africa is just dropping Yiddish terms like she's trying to be like,
Yeah.
I hope the Borscht Belts is going to be like invite us to Christmas this year. It's like I don't think that's a thing anymore. But all right.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else? We've been an hour, and I know you got time sensitive, ma'am.
I got nothing.
Why are you going to a wrestling match?
I can't go. But sorry.
Thank you for not explaining either of what that means. Like you
I thought that it was later and I thought I would be able to go after.
Were you
But-
participating in?
No. I was going to
This was like WWE stuff?
And then you already like did me a favor of making it earlier, so I didn't want to tell you that I couldn't go anymore because I felt bad.
you could have told us. Like I told you before.
Was
it's
this
like,
more of an inconvenience that we did
No.
it earlier? I'm sorry, guys.
no.
No forgiveness, and you can just get
Cool.
out.
I like it like that.
See, that's how we split up the duties. Is Alan is just dead on the inside, and I'm like, no, I got you. It's no problem.
Sorry, guys.
It's kind of like talking to your parents, or it's like, don't just tell me. Don't tell your father. It's just
that's
tell me.
great.
Don't tell your father. Well, it's fine. We'll fix it.
Oh, that's good. I think I was in the backwards. I couldn't tell mom. I think dad was the one who would be like, well, let's not tell mom about that one.
My Robert was such a complex individual where it's like there are moments with my dad where it's like, I love you because I'm your son and I feel like I have to, but really if we had to spend time together as people, I would just be like, you're not for me.
Let me I would like to just point out we're going to the next one's only 26 seconds long. It's going to be 26 seconds of horror.
I can't wait.
Can I just say I have an even more reason to hate this man? It's called Couple Visit Doctor.
Oh,
He couldn't even get his goddamn subject and verb. Couple Visit Doctor.
Well,
It's like a caveman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 100 titles to put on there, Alan. You really think he's got the excess space for good grammar?
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't have excess space for a second fucking take. So many of these, he's like tripping over the words or taking these pauses where you can tell he's like trying to remember what the next part of the joke is.
That index
Yeah.
is a wall of text.
Yeah.
Like, that might be the funniest thing about
I
it.
will say,
Sorry.
there's one thing we do need to probably correct going forward. He has, I think, officially hit more titles than he's missed.
I think the last like 10 have all been correct. At least 10.
At least 10, yes.
So maybe from here on. But see, I want to say maybe from here on out they're all correct. But that discounts the idea that one was already incorrect earlier.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So they
that's true.
swapped places. So at some point they're going to get incorrect again.
I mean, let's find out.
Let's find out. This one is not about couple visit doctor. God damn it.
A husband and wife go to a sex therapist because
Okay.
the husband can't seem to get an erection no matter how hard he tries. Viagra, Cialis,
Oh, there was a
nothing
cut.
works.
Yeah.
So the
heard
therapist
it.
says to the wife, stand here in the middle of the room. Take all your clothes off. The wife takes all her clothes off, standing naked in the middle of the room, and the therapist walks around the woman for a couple of times. And then he
Sounds
says
like
to
he's
the husband,
reading.
You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. She can't give me a hard-on either. This couple is on
I
vacation.
hate
He
him.
needs to trim some fat from some of these.
He already did, apparently.
that thing went 4 extra
Very
minutes.
good point.
Yeah,
Very good
that's
point.
you've hit on something that we've been long suffering with this man, is that he absolutely takes the longest possible route to get wherever the fuck he's going. Every time.
Yeah.
And it's always like superfluous language that doesn't enhance the joke at all. Like,
There was one, do you remember?
So funny.
I think the first time we ever listened to this guy, when we did a whole bunch in a row, there was a joke that started with ethnicities. It was like a Chinese guy, a whatever guy, and an Italian guy. And by the time he got to the punchline, the ethnicities were completely irrelevant to the punch. There was no reason. It wasn't like Chinese guy
Misdirection.
stereotype. It was just, why did you tell me? Couldn't you have just said
Right.
three guys?
Poorly written FCAT essay.
Oh my God. I was a
that's
teacher
why-
for 10 years. It's hilarious that you just brought that
And
up.
that's why Fenway was my favorite pet.
Oh my God. Do you have how many times I had to tell my students, don't say I'm going to tell you. Just tell me.
What did you teach?
I taught English.
What-
so I
what
taught
grade?
middle school.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
I was
it
gonna,
wasn't cool.
I
It
was
was a
gonna be
nightmare.
an English teacher. But
You're better off having not done it.
yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
good.
you know.
so like, and that's the thing with Ed.
Thank you.
is Ed will absolutely go, I'm going to tell you a story about a taxi and then tell you like the wheels on the taxi, the color of the taxi, how many people are in the taxi. And then he'll go, anyway, so this guy walks into a bar and you're like, what the fuck was the rest of that for?
Yeah,
The other one that's so
I
you
thought
start
we were
to
on
see
the taxi. Like,
so especially because I had 6th graders. So you start to see patterns because you know they're all feeding from the same elementary school.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you start to notice somebody at that elementary school is training them to do something wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So I would
With
keep
it.
I
Keep
would
going.
keep getting these like it would always be a good half of my students that started every essay with, "Do you like blank?" I do. And I'm like, "Oh man!" And so I had to
Let me
like
tell you about the time.
I had to beat that out of them. I had to beat the "I am going to tell you about." I was like, I would always tell them, imagine a friend of yours walks up to you in the hall and says, "I am going to tell you about what happened at lunch." Would they do that, or would they just start telling you what happened at lunch?
There's a parallel here, and I don't know if you like see this. I don't know how much you use like Instagram, but when people who like are the influencer type who is trying to share something, they'll write like a wall of text in the caption, and then to be relatable at the end, they will ask the question, "What are some of your favorite blank?"
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, that is what you just described. These people are like I don't know,
I haven't seen
empty
this.
shells.
I haven't seen this in a while, but
Such
there
a
was
good
this.
description of it.
There was this trend going on for a long time. I haven't seen it in a while. You'd have sexy picture, sexy girl. And
I know where we're going.
And then
with this.
underneath that,
wish I was that. Da da da.
no,
Okay.
underneath would be some weird, irrelevant question. It would be like, "What are your dreams?" Or like, "How do you feel?" And it was just like, so there was one that went viral. Pretty girl, sexy girl, her ass hanging out, and it says something like, It was like, what do you wonder? It was something like that. And then this guy wrote
Something about your butthole.
So then this guy wrote an entire essay about Jason Voorhees. So it was like, what do you wonder? Well, I wonder if he's a zombie. And if he's a zombie, how come he's an adult zombie? Because he died when he was a kid. So is he a ghost? But if he's a ghost, why is he solid when he kills people? It was just this whole...
Wow. That's beautiful.
I just saw a meme the other day that was kind of along those lines of like somebody had posted a thing up on like Pornhub that was like and about it was so like the title was like hot sexy girl sleeps blah blah blah, right? And then like someone had just asked the question underneath of along the lines of like, why do we park in a driveway and not park in a park in a parkway or whatever? And like someone underneath had been like, dude, I'm trying to blow my load, not blow my mind. Like why? Like
There it is.
Well, I think we're good. We've ran an hour.
I'm sorry for misleading you regarding
we've already
schedule.
discussed this. There will be no forgiveness, and you
No surrender.
you are going to be banished like the attractive guy. And
we'll have you back.
Yes, of course we will. Instagrams and all that shit. You got
My
stuff.
Instagram is It's at patches _ O'Houlihan.
All right.
Like
Can
from
you-
Dodgeball.
Can you spell?
Yeah.
Can you spell?
PHES _ OHOOLIHAN. And to think that
I'm a smart.
to think that I got kicked out of I lost in the spelling bee in 7th grade on the word mozzarella. Kind of a fucked up word to put in there. That's Italian.
That's not fair.
And like jacuzzi, what the fuck is that? Come on.
So like, look, my mom was an English professor. I grew up with an English professor fucking talking about my language all the time. As an adult, the number of times I've had to like type out a sentence and someone's like, that's grammatically incorrect. And I'm like, I'm 33 now. I don't give a fuck about your rules.
Yeah.
Do you ever, I've probably asked this before, but do you ever like, because I write now for a living, do you ever use a word in your writing or your speech, and then as soon as you use the word, you go, maybe that word doesn't mean what I think it means?
Oh,
Absolutely.
And you're just
I mean,
like...
I try to like make sure it's the what I think it means because that does happen to me. The most embarrassing thing is when it's the opposite.
Yes.
Because that has happened to me.
Dude.
And it was so embarrassing.
In the last, it's probably been 10 years now, but it still feels recent to me. I was going to use the word virtually. I thought virtually meant absolutely. And
that's
so
a good
I
one.
started to type it, and then something in my brain went, wait a minute, the root of this is virtual.
Right.
That
right.
doesn't,
That's
I
like
can't be
not-
right about this.
Yes. Okay. But that one's not as bad as some because that's not really opposite. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like if it's opposite,
Yeah.
I thought the bane of my existence meant like something
Good?
the opposite. Yes.
Oh.
And I was pretty young.
That's
but
great.
Like I said that like, and someone was like, "What do you mean?" And
You probably got Bane and Boone mixed up, because
I
a
don't
boon
know.
is a good thing.
I think I was just confused.
So this is where I play it too cool for school, because I'm in that same boat with you. But again, having my mother as an English professor and being a fucking adult now,
And just say you
when
don't
I
care.
when I find out the word is not what I mean, I got like, fuck it, they'll figure it out anyway. I'll give a shit.
I don't need you. Tell me. Got the Twitters and the other shit.
I
Any of
don't
that
have
shit?
Twitter, but I have a show that I'm headlining.
Yes.
On
When is this?
The 19th of August at Spitfire. It's the Big Girl Pants that Dree and Lauren run.
Hell yeah.
Same
I don't. Wow, you just said a lot of words I didn't
It's
understand.
like a chick. It's like a female empowerment. Or no, it's like a. I'm not going to do a good job describing it, and then I feel like I'm doing
Okay.
a bad thing. But it's like.
Why did you say the words "big girl
That's
pants"?
what it's called. So
Is that
they
the
run
name
a
of the show? Got
Yes,
it.
and I
Okay.
did a poor job executing that.
No, I was
but
I
I'm
was
gonna go execute
so
myself.
fascinated that I had to get to the bottom of that
Yeah.
well.
So you're doing that August 19th.
Yeah, and I don't really have anything else.
What time is the show?
I think it's at 8. I should
8?
probably look, but you know.
I mean, you might want
My
to
phone's
because
off.
you want to be there on time.
yeah.
I should buy tickets at .com.
No? All right.
I love you.
I tried.
That's Spitfire.
It's that.
All right. We're good. So, Rafiq.
So,
How
don't
about
forget
this?
How about this?
How about this?
How about this?
Carry on, my wayward sons.
Oh, that's so much better than what I was going to do.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of So How About This? If you liked that episode, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or leave a review. If you really liked us, tell a friend. If you hated us, tell somebody you also hate. Tell 5 people that you hate about us. Find your arch enemy and convince them to listen to our podcast because you hate us so much and you want to punish them for it. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at So How About This One. That's the words So How About This followed by the number 1. If you have any questions you want answered on the show, just hit us up on Twitter and don't forget to stay tuned for new episodes.